Why do some people regard the Prius as important as the Model T Ford? Why did Toyota engineer a flower? And who is Toyota's mysterious race driver known as Mr. Mauricio? You'll find out all this and more in part 3 of our series on how Toyota got so big. So far, we followed the story of the Toyoda family. First, there was Scotty Toyoda, an inventor who started a power loom business. Then his son, Kiichiro, who started manufacturing Toyota's first cars within the loom factory. We then met Kiichiro's son, Shoichiro, who was called the Crown Prince of Toyota. We also saw lots of Toyota cars named after crowns. In a few decades, Toyota would become king of all car makers, one of the largest original equipment manufacturers in the world. But let's not speed too far ahead. It's now 1997. Toyota launches the first mass-produced hybrid car, the iconic Prius. Prius is Latin for go before, and the Prius lives up to the name. It's the first hybrid car in the world to be mass-produced. Some say its importance in the history of car manufacturing is equal to that of the Ford Model T, because it symbolizes the new electric era of cars. It's economical with minimal emissions. It becomes the world's top-selling hybrid car by far. You might think that this is because it's the first to market, but actually this isn't the reason. Honda Insight arrived in the US first, but Prius was the first to launch globally. Prius is also not even the world's first hybrid car. The idea for hybrids goes way back to 1889, when William H. Patton developed a gasoline-electric hybrid rail car propulsion system. Then Ferdinand Porsche developed the mixed hybrid vehicle in 1900, but it won't be until the late 20th century that hybrid vehicles in general become commercially viable. Back to our story. So if Honda launches ahead of Prius in America, why doesn't it win the race here? Well, Americans like practicality and space for larger cars. The Insight had only 2 doors and accommodation for just 2 people. It's less practical for most Americans. The Prius, on the other hand, has space for 4. In the battle of the hybrids, Prius leads not only America, but in the rest of the world too. It doesn't surrender its position. After Prius, Toyota looks for more ways to become environmentally friendly. This is clue number 9 on how Toyota got so big. The world is moving towards green energy. So too does Toyota. And it's not just cars. The company receives criticism because manufacturing Priuses has a larger environmental impact than most cars. So Toyota genetically engineers the Toyota flower. Its purpose is to balance the carbon dioxide released into the Prius assembly plant. 2 new species were created from cherry sage and gardenia. One absorbs nitrogen oxide. The other creates water vapor to reduce the temperature surrounding the factory. Toyota continues to improve the manufacturing processes. In 1999, they introduced the Kanban system. Earlier in part 2 of our history, we explained how the traditional Kanban system works. If you missed it, click on the link below. Remember the pizza shop? You keep just enough ingredients ready for a set number of pizzas. As you use ingredients, you replenish what you've used and continue assembling the pizza. Of course, it's much easier to manage this if you're in the pizza shop and can see when ingredients are low. But at a car manufacturing plant, the parts can come from far away. It's hard to keep track of something you can't see. So cards are used to keep track. When a parts container is empty, a card is placed inside each container. The card contains the part number and details. Then the container is sent back to the supplier. The supplier can see from the card what parts are needed. They fill the container with those parts and send it back to Toyota. This works well in Japan because many of the parts suppliers are close to the Toyota manufacturing factory. But in Europe, it's a little different. Some of the suppliers are far away from the factories, even in different countries. So this can cause a delay while the container's being shipped back to the supplier. The solution is Kanban. The cards are still used between different departments inside the factory, but every day the information of the cards is uploaded onto the database. Suppliers download the data using the internet. It's just like receiving the physical cards, except quicker. The data tells them exactly what parts they need to send. They immediately dispatch the parts. This cuts the cycle time in half, which reduces storage. which reduces shortage of parts and ensures production is not interrupted. Now this might seem a simple and obvious solution, but remember, at the end of 1999, only 4% of the world is using the internet. But let's get back to what's happening at Toyota. It's 2009. Akio Toyoda becomes president. He is grandson of Kiichiro Toyoda.
I never met my grandfather, but I tried to think what he think.
Big news for Toyota. Kiichiro Toyoda has been inducted to the Automotive Hall of Fame. By the way, who are you anyway? I'm Akio Toyoda, your grandson. Oh, what do you do now? I work for an automobile company. I hope it's Toyota.
Akio Toyoda is a master driver. He has spent countless hours behind the wheel of his third-generation A80 Supra. No surprise that this motor enthusiast backs Toyota racing projects. Before becoming president, he worked on the Toyota GR project, which stands for Gazoo Racing. Gazoo refers to the word garage. It is an intimate place where the team works together to improve the finest details. It's this idea that drives Toyota Gazoo Racing to make better cars. Akio believes that Toyota must manufacture cars that are fun for every Toyota customer to drive. With Akio steering the company, GR finally wins at Le Mans and also wins victories at the World's Rally Championship, the Nürburgring 24 Hours, and Japan's Super GT Series. It's 2019. There's a mystery surrounding a Toyota driver at the Nürburgring 24 Hours. The driver is Mr. Mauricio, who turns out to be none other than the 63-year-old Akio Toyoda. He is racing the 90 GR Supra. Akio has used the name Mr. Mauricio before. Mr. Mauricio is the nickname of a green shrub that was the mascot of the 2005 World Expo. This expo was held near where Toyota is based in the Aichi Prefecture. The theme of the expo was nature's wisdom, and it focused on ecological coexistence and renewable energy. The name Mr. Mauricio hints at what's to come, which is renewable energy. But it's also been used for racing performance cars. Will we see energy-efficient or performance cars in Toyota's future? Turns out we will see both. It's now 2014. The Mirai, which in Japanese means future, is unveiled at the Los Angeles Auto Show. It's the first full production hydrogen fuel cell car. It converts 13 gallons of water into 11 pounds of hydrogen and travels for over 312 miles. It is the most fuel-efficient hydrogen fuel cell vehicle rated by the EPA, and the one with the longest range. Fuel cells are a little like a cross between battery power and an internal combustion engine. Internal combustion engines work by burning fuel to generate heat and push the pistons. Fuel cells use pressurized hydrogen. So instead of burning the fuel, the hydrogen is chemically combined with oxygen in the air to make water. This process is a little like what happens in a battery. The process releases energy. The only waste product from this process is water, which they say is so pure you can actually drink it. Not saying you should, I prefer it from the tap myself. So if you do try, remember it's at your own risk. In 2018, Akio receives the Isigonis Trophy for bringing back cars that appeal to motor enthusiasts. This trophy is named after the celebrated car designer, Sir Alec Isigonis, creator of the iconic Mini. When accepting this award, Akio pays tribute to his grandfather, Kiichiro Toyoda. So here's clue number 10. Make cars that people want to drive, whatever the reason, whether it's fun, whether it's just to get around, or for the pure joy of driving.
I am the third generation Toyota to lead this company. And perhaps you have heard the saying that the third generation ruins everything. Well, it's something I've heard all my life. And it's something I'm determined to prove wrong.
And that is the story of how Toyota got so big. A company that started as a family business in the loom industry in Japan and became the largest car manufacturer in the world. We have more exciting content coming real soon. So subscribe and ring that bell to get notified of our next episode.